Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum everyone over there, or there, or here. My name is ZAIM. I'm currently a law student from Ahmad Ibrahim Kuliah of Law IM Gombak, and it is a pleasure for me to meet all of you virtually. And firstly, thank you for making your time to listen and watch the video that I'm trying my best to impart the knowledge that I've been given and experienced actually. So today basically I'm going to talk about something that is really close to my heart. Legit, like literally, I think I've spent the whole 5 years or 6 years or even 7 years or even like half of my life trying to figuring out myself in this field. And what that I can say is that the field that I'm having that gives rise all of the conflicts, all of the mental breakdowns, all of the challenges externally, physically and mentally and everything, it all boils down or it all comes from the world of being a student leader or leadership or what we call it, or like community engagement and whatnot. And stemming from the student leader itself, there's another part of it, or like a new era or like a new world that I've been delved into for the past 2 years to 3 years I think, which is mental health. And surprisingly, it has its own significance in its development in terms of how I learned myself, I grew myself from it. And I think that most of you can relate, especially those in my circles, those I believe that have the same sets of traits like me, and I hope to relate to you guys and to everyone alike, inshallah. Okay, so before I proceed, this is a little disclaimer that I would like to put in. All of the sharing that I will be share after this is based solely, most of it from my experience. And moving on to the most wondrous year of my life in foundation studies in PJ and in Kuantan campus, I've take the leadership, the student leader concept to another level where I've been elected as the president of MRC, Abu Bakar, president of MRC Khalid, Walid during my CFS, and also the finest one I think is the president of Student Coordination Committee. It's like the SRC version of SEC like back then. And during those times, you can already imagine how my life is. So my day-to-day engagement every day, like I will go to class, and in between the class, I will always make time for meetings. And I've also participated in many inter-university engagements such as conferences, and all of that has taken a lot of time and energy from me, in the sense that I benefit a lot. I able to expand my networking, I able to learn new knowledge, and just to put it clear that I do not have any strong fundamental when it comes to leadership when I was elected as the president. And the thing that sparked me back then to pursue is my competitive spirit with my friend. And considering all of that, I continued, and 1 year has been great. And going on into undergraduate life in IM Gombak, I also participated in many things. I still remember in my first year of degree life being a law student. It's actually a death trap juga lah, being active, in the sense that you have to juggle from your active side and also your academic side. So because at that point I really want to excel in both fields, and it proceeded because I become the committee for MRC vice president and everything. I almost take part in every club and every program and every weekend, and I have to say that it was really good because I was super productive. I feel that I'm making a huge achievement in my life. I'm making a change to everyone, going here and there, weekend, traveling here and there. And I've been to overseas since my CFS years. And since 2019, I've been abroad almost every year except the last 2 years due to COVID. Only after entering my second semester, I'm starting to build up some unhealthy habits about myself. And after going through a series of engagement treatments, I just found out and I realized that actually it comes from the unhealthy habit of me not taking care of myself. So that's the basis of it. Like that is how it started. So back in those days, when you're tired, you don't really take good care of yourself, right? You're trying to pushing the ends. You try to make things work. You push yourself aside, in the sense that I have a few checklists, because every day I will have my own checklist, what to do, people to meet, things to do by the end of the day, the meetings, the endless meeting with here and there and everywhere. And that you're tired actually, but you just think that you cannot do anything about it. other lives are more important than yours. Basically, that's the concept. So less time for yourself. Yeah, like you're not spending your time to something that unuseful, you know, not that, something that unbeneficial. You're really making a change. So it's all good things, right? So like macam like, okay, so good things. So good things will breed good things, supposedly. But again, in my situation, it doesn't happen like that. It has taken toll on me, and I have this like a pattern when I'm in a lot of trouble. Trouble with myself, like mainly, I will keep on piling myself up, a problem, up, to an extent that it will topple over me. And I have the thing about the confession is that all of this, there are many good things, but due to the inability for me to self-manage myself, I have developed anxiety because all of that. It's not something that I'm proud of right now, but it's something that I'm taking good care and make me realize and review back my whole life for the last 5 to 6 years on whether I have treated myself at my best, whether my body truly deserve all of those things. And I'm right now suffering the repercussion. And the most important part, when COVID came, my life was put on hold, you know. I was so unsuper productive. Physical meetings was a big no back then, and up until now, I'm numb. I don't have, because all of those things are my coping mechanism, you know. I'm really hard to fulfill that part of me that is just one yearning to be wanted, to fulfill, to give back, to serve my best. And I have to deal with the one thing that I have been pushing away, which is the need to take care of myself. And having all of that has costed me my health a lot badly. But at least the good thing is I realize it right now, right? I realized it last year when I've started to promise myself to take good care. And that is where taking good care of yourself, I think most of you can relate to all of this, is important. So the key rule actually is to just have a good self-management of yourself. Because we know that being a student leader, you need to keep up with certain things. And by the need to keep up, you have to be at your best, physically, mentally fit in everything. And you know that you have a responsibility to our body, to your body. And we should not neglect all of their needs. And in the sense that you should try in every way to acknowledge the fault that you are, well, perhaps not fault, but your own lackings. How you want to be better, how you can take care or have a good rest. Even rest is like a privilege for people like us. But the first step is always to acknowledge yourself in the ways that will be beneficial for you, you know. And the most important part is actually for you to take that step to just make yourself better first, saving ourselves first, and only then we can save others. And an important factor that I've learned for the past 3 years 2 years like that, is an aspect of being vulnerable with yourself, you know. Because we student leaders, we have this expectation or societal standards that we should not do or we should do. And again, you know that all of those things is very on a case-to-case basis and on the individual itself. So the part of vulnerability is that it is okay if we're at fault. It is okay if we're weak. It is okay if we don't exceed certain expectation. It's okay that we don't at par with others. And all of this internal expectation or internal conversation, you have to have it with yourself first. Because it all comes back from the fact that you need to acknowledge the core issue of why you keep on burning out actually. So, you know lah, repetitive burnout is not good, right? But again, repetitive signifies something worse could happen, like depression and anxiety and everything. So the first step, when you realize it a lot earlier, we have to take the step back and reassess ourselves, realign our position and expectations, and have it clear with ourselves first. That's the most important thing above all. Because once we're confirmed with our own self, we can assure, serve, dedicate, give our best to anyone that we want, to the best of our abilities. Because we know our limitations, and most importantly, we know where we have to stop. We think that all of the burdens of the world is on our shoulder, but it's not. And before we think about the world, we need to think about ourselves first. Be kind. It is cliche, guys. It sounds like, okay, be kind. But once you get clear with yourself the practical aspect of how to be kind, only then you can see the clearer picture, the clearer observation of how things can be for you and work out for yourself. And most importantly, don't forget that we have our own God, Allah upstairs, atas. He won't leave us. The more that He tests us, actually, the more that He wants us to be close with Him. And being a student leader is actually a privilege, I would say, because we are given the duty, the amanah to make best of what you can in this world through His means, through His spirit, His encouragement, His words of the Book of Allah, the Quran and everything too. Yeah, mental health, you're burning out yourself, the mental aspect is really important. And it has been the only thing that is important all this while. Or partly, or even I think the important consideration about ourselves is how we console ourselves from the inside. Because what is in the inside portrays our external side. And yeah, don't lose hope, because people like us, we've been given responsibility to excel further. And in order to excel further, we have to take care of these little things first. And you're not alone. Everyone's rooting for you, everyone's praying for you. And just believe in yourself that if I can take care of this, then I can take care of everything. Settle with myself first, and inshallah, everything will come smooth, biiznillah. But I truly hope that my sharing today has benefited some of you, partly at least. And I'm sorry, I truly apologize if my words have offended any of you in any way. That is not my intention today. And I pray to Allah that all of you have been given the ni'mah, nasihah, through His means. And I hope that I've done my part well to convey the information that I've been given. And with that note, thank you very much, CAS Mental Health Awareness Project, for this awesome initiative. And may God bless all of you hereafter, and Selamat Hari Raya. Bye bye. Assalamualaikum.